Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Here we are, the day after we finally met. Myself and JG finally met for the first time in how many? About 18 months?
You didn't really lead it up to a big thing. You just went straight in, straight to the punchline. JG meets Ben in person.
I'm feeling the effects of it still now.
Yeah, if you wonder why we sound a bit strange, we definitely had a hat full of drinks. It was a good time. Got to see some other faces as well. We spoke a bit of tennis. And I didn't even realise I was taller than you, which was weird.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't remember that. Yeah,
I just always assumed we was the same height. I don't know. Maybe because we always look the same height on here.
I'm shrinking as I get older, maybe. Indeed. Yeah, mate, throw up the picture. Everyone wants to see what it was.
There we go. The big reveal. JG meets Ben. Look at that. Look at them beautiful, strapping young lads with a nice beer there. The sun was out. We met in London.
Wasn't it? A bit of Bud Bar.
Yeah, good beers. Highly recommend them. My first time having them. I know you have them quite often. But I was quite impressed.
Yeah, no, it was very nice. Nice place. And the weather actually, the sun came out just as we got there. So that was the best thing about it. Yeah, really good stuff. And yeah, we continuously talk tennis, as we always do. And everybody else wanted to talk tennis with us as well. So it never stops. Even when you have a day off, tennis never stops.
Yeah, it was like we was doing a podcast, but without filming it, I felt at times.
Yeah, it always is.
You got a cafe, our patron saying good morning. I had no idea you two had never met. Of course, we had met prior to COVID. We worked together for about a year and a half, but it's been, about a year and a half, just over that, since we've last seen each other because of COVID. So it's not that we've never seen each other. Sam's asking, do we live far away? Not too far at all. Pretty close.
And yeah, the last time that we saw each other, I think the podcast had how many? About 200 subscribers?
No, I think it was 1,000. Was it not?
I think we got to we got to 1,000 around, I think, June or July. So we'd have been in the thick of it already.
Okay.
Then. So that goes to show, from 200 to 17,000 since we last saw each other. It's pretty much.
We had a lot to catch up on, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, and everybody was a bit surprised that we have so many subscribers. But anyway, we're not here to talk all about us.
I'm here. So next meet up, when's that? Another year?
Yeah, why not? Another 17,000 subscribers, maybe? Who knows? No, it was good fun, though. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, getting stuck back into the tennis again today. We just had to sort of keep an eye on the results as they were going on last night while we were there. But there were some interesting ones flying around, weren't there, yesterday?
Yeah.
And we can go through those bit by bit because we're here to talk about the quarterfinals. There's some interesting names that are sort of floating around in these draws at the moment. And there's been some amazing results. And I don't know where you want to get started. Do we want to get started with the men's?
Should we start with the men's? Because we're going to be doing the men's and the women's. So let's focus on the men's first. Some good players left in the draw. The big news, no Rafa. Rafa's not there.
Nope.
But we have a cool graphic here just to sort of visualise how they're all going to meet. Tsitsipas, he's made it this far. He managed to get through Humbert and win again yesterday, I believe. Daniil Medvedev, the number one seed, marching on and playing amazing. I saw highlights of some of the shots he made. I don't know if you caught it. It was just catching lines. You can't say the same about her catch. So he got through Bassasvili, I believe. Is it Bassasvili?
Yeah, that's correct.
And it was one of the worst matches ever, apparently. The first set was dreadful. The quality of tennis was poor. Her catch has been a bit disappointing, really, since Wimbledon. And I can't really put my finger on as to why, personally. But hope he's just maybe having a bit of a downtime. You'd think, in normal times, this is a repeat of Wimbledon, that Hubie has a really good shot of beating Medvedev again. But based off what I've seen the last few weeks, it's probably going to be very straightforward, and Medvedev's going to win comfortably.
It looks like it. I think Hurkacz, one of those players, he's a big server, if the serve isn't going well for him, I think it sort of changes the way he plays. His confidence goes down. I was sort of having a look back through to see. He's obviously won 2 hard court tournaments this year. Medvedev just the one on the hard court this year already. You'd think he'd be the informed player and he's already beaten Medvedev, obviously, like you said, in Wimbledon. You'd think that he would be the fact. I don't see him beating Medvedev, though, this time. I think Medvedev, like you said, he's playing that amazing hard court form that he's able to produce at the moment, and that's scary, I think, for everybody else with the US Open on the horizon. Seems to be out
he
right
come very
time.
close in this tournament last year, though, didn't he? He was only a finalist.
Final, yep.
I expect him to have a really good shot here, but we can talk about who can stop him, because looking at the other side, well, not the other side. Let's focus on this side first. You've got John Isner, Gal Monfils.
Impressive.
Some of the lower ranked players there. Gal Monfils, amazing. Is he back? Is Gal back? He beat Francis TFO. They embraced at the net. TFO was really pleased. Kind of saying that Monfils, mate, you're my idol. I love you. I want you to never retire. I want you to keep playing. You inspire me, and I'm so happy to see you back. I thought that was very kind. It takes a big man to say that after you've just lost.
I think so as well, and I think TFO, he arguably, people probably were saying, wow, he just beaten Chapo in impressive style. Maybe he could make a run in this tournament, but to be halted by Monfils in straight sets, I'm so happy for Monfils because he's beaten 2 very, very strong players in this tournament so far. John Millman, we know how tough he is to get past, and Francis TFO, and we know that Francis TFO can mix it with the best on his day. And he's just completely obliterated him, really. Breadstick, and then, tie break, second set, a bit closer. But to breadstick TFO, I thought that was amazing. Come on, Gael, back. Come on, this is it.
And you're looking at it there. John Isner's not the worst person to be playing if you Gal Monfils. I know he can be such a great server, John Isner, but you'd probably prefer to play him rather than one of the other technical players right now. Because Gal's very, he's a good returner. He's always been a really good returner. He can get a lot of the balls back. And in a rally, let's be honest, John Isner's no world beater. I think if Gal Monfils is able to get into the shots and into the rallies, he should be able to win enough points to make this one very competitive.
Yeah, I agree.
Just trying to avoid the tie breaks if he can. Get the break and then just serve well.
Indeed. Apologies if my audio's sounding like it might just be me talking quieter than normal. I'll try and turn it up a little bit for you guys, and seeing some people in the live chat saying it's a little bit low. Yeah, it's Michael saying you think I'm just a little bit tired. Yeah, could be that as well, but I'll turn it up a little bit for you. Just apologies for that. I think, like you were saying, he's playing John Isner. That's a winnable match. Yeah. And John Isner, I don't want to say he's just a big serve because he's not just that, but if the serve's not firing, we've seen he comes a cropper if he can't get that first serve in. He did very well against Garin. I did actually watch that match. He was pretty impressive. But to beat Rublev in straight sets, that's very, very, very tough match.
Yeah,
I think Big John.
I feel like you kind of called it yesterday. I'm not sure if you did it in a sort of jokey form, but when we was in the office, you were saying you fancy John Isner to beat Rublev.
He's just looked good this
I
week.
recall you saying it, yeah.
Yeah, I just, from that match I just watched against Garin, he's hitting the ball very well. It's the ground shots are going into the corners. He seems to be, he's like upped his game, like his normal ground shots. And I think when John Isner's actual tennis game is on, he's a horrible player to play against because you can't just think, oh, I've only got to just get this serve back and then I win in any rally. He's winning some of the rallies as well now. And yeah, it's a scary prospect. You know, when he hits the ball, he barely has to brush it and it flies down the other end. It's crazy how much power he has. He's like Opelka, same sort of thing. Those guys have got untapped power that they can just go into at any point. So
yeah, well, we'll be talking about Opelka in a minute because he's on the other side. The John Isner Opelka final, could it happen?
It could.
Potentially, but there's a man who could be trying to stop that, and that's Casper Ruud. Out of all of these names here, you'd say he's the most informed man. Has he won, 3 tournaments in a row or 2 tournaments in a row? I think I had it up here. I think it's 14 matches he's won on the bounce. Let me see if I can find it.
It's crazy.
So was it in Sweden? Was it Bastad? Yeah. He then won Gusted,
Yep.
Kitzbühel, he
Yep.
won. These are all on the clay. He's then gone to the hard courts. He's just beat Marin Cilic in 3, Lajovic in straight sets.
Yep.
And he's gone to the camera after he's beat him and wrote on the camera, "I love hard courts."
Oh.
So a bit of jest from him. I love to see it. We know he's a good clay courter, but he's enjoying the hard courts as well. And I think the courts are playing very fast, which makes sense when you see John Isner there and Riley Opelka. They are pretty fast courts, which you would think would be not beneficial to Casper Ruud in the slightest. In fact, I thought it would hinder him. And I'm a bit shocked he's made it this far. But fair play to him. How far can he go? Can he beat Stefanos Tsitsipas? He must be full of confidence. He's 12 in the world now. I don't know if you've got the live rankings up, because if you do, it'll be interesting to see. If he's able to beat Tsitsipas here, I'm going to put it out there. I'd be shocked if he's not in the top 10, if he's not already. He must be knocking on the door. And you got to look in a time where we've had the Olympics and players pulling out and not playing. You look at what Casper Ruud's done, and granted, you can say, oh, he's beaten people who aren't very good. It's a very wise decision from him. He's got a few titles under his belt.
Yep.
And now he's rising and getting all these points and pushing through the rankings. He's worked very hard. He's not given up. He's been playing every tournament he can do. And that takes some serious dedication and mental commitment. And really just got to be in a good headspace to do that. And he's done it and playing it amazing in the way he's doing it, beating some good players along the way. Can he beat Tsitsipas? Why not?
Well, and the other thing to make note of, obviously Djokovic struggled with it a little bit from how much tennis he was playing, is the body holding up as well. And it seems to be holding up great at the moment for Casper Ruud. He's only 22 years old, and he is creeping closer to that top 10. He is, I believe, at the start of the tournament, it says 3,310 to Chapeau's 3,625. So he's 315 points behind Chapeau. If he was to beat Tsitsipas, then he would still be below. But if he was to go another step closer, if he was to win the tournament, let's say, he would overtake him and he goes into that position. I think if he gets to the final, he can still do it as well, though.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, it's a good shout. So a lot at stake for Casper Ruud. Can he break the top 10? I don't think his father ever did. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's already passed his landmark of how far he's got. He seems to be breaking all of his records, which is great to see. On Tsitsipas, he stopped the rot. He's finally been winning matches. He's finally been able to beat Umber. I think he lost the last 2 times they played. Yes. And he followed it up with a good win against Khachanov yesterday. And comfortable. 3-2. Gave away 5 games. Tsitsipas looking strong. Some of the other matches I've seen from him this tournament. Let me just get them up to remind myself of them all.
No worries. Yeah, I thought
it was obviously it was just Umber, wasn't it? So yeah, just the Umber one and Khachanov so far. And yeah, I think we know his class. He's number 3 in the world now. He's got an opportunity to consolidate himself as number 3. I think he's sort of made up some ground now because Rafa's dropped a lot of points this Canadian Open. So because of that, if Tsitsipas is able to sort of beat Ruud and go far and maybe win the tournament, even if he gets to the final, he's going to put some daylight between him and Rafa.
Yes,
in
definitely.
the rankings.
You have to say...
And not just that, I think it's big for him to try and win a Masters event.
Oh, massive. I just think that this is a perfect opportunity for him now. He's finally coming back to form again, it looks like. That's what we want to see with the Grand Slam on the horizon. I was getting a bit worried for Tsitsipas. I know that I had in my bracket for him to be getting this far to the quarterfinals. I think I had Felix, though, going further, and he just didn't even turn up in this tournament. Very disappointing. But I'm hoping that Steph can get to that final. I really want to see him pushing on. I would love to see a Medvedev-Tsitsipas final. I think that's probably the one that most people would want to see here.
Yeah.
There might be the odd other person, maybe like we've got some people saying Batista Agut there. Dawn in the live chat saying, do you think Batista will win? Well, let's get on to that one in a minute. But just before we do, in this event, is one of Steph's better Masters events. His best one's Monte Carlo. Obviously, he won that this year. That was his first Masters event he's won. He's got to the final before here in Canada in 2018, and he holds a 71 win percentage. Oh,
So he
nice.
doesn't do too bad. One of the better Masters events for him.
Yeah, really
So
good.
I think if he can match that, he needs to try and get to the final. He needs to win one, man. Let's try and win a hard court Masters, because he's at that level now where he's expected to. I know he's only young, but he's so good. You can only win so many 250s, 500s. Let's win some Masters, and then next stop, Grand Slams.
Indeed. I think he's one person as well who you could consider for that US Open. If he does well in this tournament and then he does well in Cincinnati as well, yeah, beware. I think Tsitsipas, he's one to watch. We know how well he did at the Australian Open. Just came a cropper in the semi-finals. So I think he'll be looking to go one better.
Yep.
Interesting stuff. Should we move down to Batista Agut versus Riley Opelka?
Yep. So the other big serving American, the John Isner Riley Opelka final. I know I was joking about it, but in these conditions, it is certainly possible.
Yeah.
It could actually happen. I don't want it to happen. That would be, for me, a waste of a good final. Batista Agut, someone I love a lot. He come through Diego Schwartzman. They're a bit similar players, I feel. Batista Agut and Schwartzman. I think Agut probably has a little bit more oomph in some of his shots. Schwartzman, more of a clay court, a bit more one-dimensional, as you say. He can sort of, he loves a good rally, Schwartzman. He can stay in one for a while. With Agut, he doesn't mind that as well. But the difference with, I think he's got a bit more experience playing on the hard courts, plays them a little bit better. Remember in Cincinnati, was it last year? He come close to beating Djokovic, playing great that whole tournament. I think Schwartzman, did he have match points in that one?
I didn't get to see that matchup, but it seemed like quite close. I was surprised it actually went to 3 for some reason. I'll have a look. I don't think he got any. Let me just have a look in here. In the third set, there was match points. Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
No, because I saw it on Twitter. That's all.
3 match points for Schwartzman that he missed there at 5-4, and then unfortunately, he lost 7-5.
But there was nothing separating them. It was so close. I think the bookies had it very even. A good slight favourite, probably because he's better on hard courts. But ultimately, he's come through that battle. Can Agut beat Opelka?
I think he can. Yeah, I think he can. But the problem is, if you look at Opelka's last match against Harris, it was just the sort of workmanlike performance, isn't it, from Opelka? The last 2 sets that he won, both tie breaks, didn't drop. No one dropped a serve all the way up to the tie break, and it was that's just run of the mill, isn't it, for somebody like Riley Opelka? Just get that one opportunity in the tie break, boom, done. And
I'm a bit worried about this one personally. I think Batista Agut's someone who's over the years struggled against some of the bigger servers. Last time they played, he beat Opelka just in 3, and then in Basel he lost to Opelka. So and he's beaten him Shanghai. So
a little bit.
Agut's 2-1 on the head-to-head, but they're all very close.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Isner and Opelka progressing. That's for sure. But are you going to make any selections? Are you going to tell us who your semi-finalists are going to be?
Well, yeah, might as well. We've gone through all of them, so I'm going to start from the top. Hubert Hurkacz's not really playing too great. I think he's been a bit fortunate with the draw. Since Wimbledon, he's not been the same player. I'm going to be going Daniil Medvedev. I think he wins that one straight sets.
Yeah,
do you want to do that one as well?
Yeah, I'm the same.
The one below, John Isner, Galmon Fils. I'm actually going to go. I'm actually going to go 2-1, Galmon Fils. I'm hoping to see. I think he's going to be an underdog. Like I said earlier, I think he's a good returner. And if you get in the rallies, Galmon Fils has shown enough this tournament to suggest maybe he's not back, but he's definitely playing a lot better, like a hell of a lot better than what we've seen post-COVID. So I'm going to go Monfils on that one, 2-1.
Indeed. I'm going to be going Big John to win that one. Obviously, he just won a tournament in Atlanta on the hard courts. I think he'll still be in good form. And next one, Casper Ruud.
Wait, what was you didn't say the sets?
Oh, I think he'll do it straight sets. Okay. I think it'll be just a big serving performance from him.
Casper Ruud, Tsitsipas.
This one I'll go first on. I think Tsitsipas straight sets.
Oh. I believe, is it not right that Casper Ruud's already beaten Tsitsipas this year?
Yes, I believe so.
On clay, and that was when Tsitsipas was unbeatable. I think it was before
Yeah,
Roland
it was.
Garros. He's in a good spell, and Casper Ruud blitzed him. It was a bit of a shock.
Yep. 2-love. Yep.
I might go for. I think it's 3 sets for me. It's definitely 3 sets. I'm surprised you've gone straight. I think I'm probably going to go Tsitsipas in 3.
Nice.
I think he's going to get more revenge. He's already had revenge with him, but now to get some revenge with Ruud and end his winning streak.
Now, Opelka, Batista Agut. For me, Batista Agut gives away too many break points in a lot of his matches. I think he's going to come a cropper here, but I think it could be 3 sets again. I think it's going to be Opelka in 3.
Okay. I understand your logic behind that. He definitely does give away a lot of break points. He's not the best server on tour. I think I'm going to go, regardless of that, I'm going to go Agut to win in 3 as well. I think the third one's going to be a tie break.
Oh, God. Sounds great.
So it's going to be it's probably a 9-7 in a tie break in the third or something.
Thriller.
Make sure to clip that if it happens.
All right.
So we move on to the women's?
Yeah, let's do it, mate.
So let's see what people are saying. We've got Edgar here going, I have Med, Tsitsipas and Opelka in my semis in the bracket. So well done to you.
Wow.
I think you said you're second in the bracket league. So shout out
Well
for that. We've got Almina going for Medvedev, Isner and Tsitsipas Agut. So pretty similar to, well, it's a combination of mine and yours.
I think all of these can go. I'd say Medvedev's the one I'm probably most sure on.
Yeah.
But it's still a bit tricky though, because Hurkacz.
And it's crazy we're saying we're most sure on that when the last time they played, a matter of, was it last month?
Yeah.
In a Grand Slam, Hurkacz beat him.
And Hurkacz already won a Masters on hard court this year.
So maybe we were just a bit delusional.
Maybe.
But no, Medvedev's looking a lot better.
I'll get the women's one up. Just bear with me.
We've got Dawn going Medvedev, Monfils, Tsitsipas. I think you're missing one, Dawn.
just holding out on the other one, just for now.
Not sure. But on to the women's. And we have Sabalenka. She did make it this far. I think I had her going out very early to Badoza. It wasn't to be for Badoza. There's been some shocks, actually, like to be expected. The only one I can really shout home about is the fact that we've got Ons Jabeur there, my winner of the event before it started, and Coco Gauff, someone who I love so much, and also Sorribes Tormo. I think them 3 there, I have a lot of love for, and I'm really happy to see they've advanced to this stage. They wouldn't have been necessarily odds-on favourite to get there. Probably Coco Gauff would have been, but some of the others have had to go through a bit of adversity to get this far, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, you called a lot more than what I did on this one. I went Sakari, and yeah, she didn't do too well, unfortunately. She went out to Azarenka. She still went to 3, but I thought that was going to be like the pivotal moment of the tournament. Unfortunately, I got it wrong. Azarenka, she's a force to be reckoned with, and we've got the Belarusians playing each other again. They keep meeting, don't they, these two?
Well, I'd love to know the head-to-head. Do you have it there?
3. It's 3 matches played. Sabalenka 2-1 on the head-to-head.
Okay.
And won their last meeting in Ostrava 2 sets to love. But then
one second. I'm just going to get the scores up myself so I can go through it.
They played in the US Open as well, and Azarenka, obviously, she got to the final. She beat her 2 sets to love there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think with this one, we've got to remember Azarenka seems to be a different player this time of the year to other periods. She got to the final of the US Open, didn't she? And then she won Cincinnati just before. And she was playing amazing during that spell. I think we're going to see more of the same, potentially. We're not going to do our predictions yet. We'll do that in the end like we did in the other one. But against this one, against Sabalenka's not been that consistent for me. She started the year as the big server, big hitting lady who was just really difficult to beat. Now I just see a bit more frustration. She can't always control her temper. And I wouldn't say she's consistent at all. She could lose to anyone. We saw against Pliskova at Wimbledon. I was disappointed by that showing. I know Pliskova was great, but Sabalenka just didn't really turn up, and she could be a lot better, but a lot better than that. So that one for me in the top. Who's the favourite? Did I have Sabalenka as the favourite? The bookies?
I would have thought so. Let me just find that for you. Just 1 second. Ooh.
They probably do, but I think I wouldn't read too much into it because I think it's for me it's a 50-50 match. It's going to be a really tricky one between the Belarusians. Moving down to the next one, it's difficult for me to be unbiased. Pliskova, I'm not a big fan of her. She frustrates the life out of me, and Sorribes Tormo I absolutely adore. So it's difficult for me to talk about this one without being biased. The one thing I would say about Tormo, I thought the way she played yesterday against Siniakova was amazing. I know we was talking about that match as a potential one where Tormo could win, and she ends up bageling her in the third.
It's mad, isn't it? That one I thought it's going to be...
second. She bageled her, sorry.
Second. It's going to be a super close match, I thought, with that one. It proved to be. And I thought Siniakova, because they played each other before, and I believe Siniakova earlier this year on grass beat her straight sets. And I thought, Siniakova's been looking good. But that was the one we both sort of pointed out to each other, wasn't it, yesterday when we met? And just said, Tormo, I think she was the underdog. So that was a good bet if you wanted to put some money on her, and it proved to be right. Yeah,
and here probably Pliskova could be the favourite, but I fancy Tormo. I think she has the weapons, she has the fight. She's happy to stay in the rallies and just work hard during points. We know she's not going to have any kind of attitude issues. She's 24 years old, 48 in the world. That's going to be rising. I see her honestly as, well, I think top 10 is maybe a bit too of a push, but certainly well inside the top 20, top 15. She's certainly good enough. I think that's her next target for her.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say top 20. She's definitely got all the tools. I'm excited to see how she goes up against a Grand Slam finalist in Karolina Pliskova, who's back to form again. Seems like she's the old Pliskova now, not the one who was stumbling so often. And I'm interested to see how Pliskova, if she continues this run that she's sort of on at the moment. I don't really want to see her fall off. I know that we give her a bit of a hard time because she hasn't turned up on big occasions.
Yeah,
maybe something's changed. Hoping it has for her. The next one's probably...
Just quickly, before we go on to the next one, I just want to say, Siniakova, this tournament, beating Ostapenko and Muguruza, and only was stopped by Sorribes Tormo. So it just shows she's some tough player. And Sorribes Tormo has also beat Samsonova this tournament, who's in a good vein of form as well.
Indeed. Next one, probably, I'm not sure if it's tie of the round, but it's the one that sort of intrigues me the most out of all of the matches, because Coco Gauff's had a bit of a strange week. She's found herself in the quarterfinals with only playing 2 sets of tennis, really.
She's hardly played. She's in the quarterfinal. She's going to be knocking on the doors of the top 10. I'll tell you that. She's 24 at the moment. The way she's going, she has a real good shot of winning this event. I'm putting it out there. I like her draw, and I like it a lot. I think avoiding Sabalenka or Azarenka from the top. I know you can say Pegula, Jabeur, that's pretty tough as well at the bottom, but tough. I think I don't know, I fancy her up in that matchup, a little bit less experienced down there than some of the others. So it's better for her to be in the less experienced side. Camila Giorgi, though, I know she's in good form herself. I think you got some wins there for her, right?
Yes.
List off some of her good victories.
She hasn't dropped a set so far, beating Elise Mertens, Nadia Podoroska, and Petra Kvitova all in straight sets in this tournament, and that's impressive. The Kvitova one, I was saying it yesterday, I still think she's going to win. The Podoroska one, I still thought, and I had her going this far in the bracket. I had her losing to Svitolina, who hasn't even made it here. So
I think people were calling you crazy in the bracket. I remember the live chat, and it's actually happened.
Exactly. So, but I didn't pick the right one. I had Svitolina going through, so it's now going to be Gauff. I reckon this is tough. I don't know. I'm not going to make a pick yet,
Yeah, let's wait for the last one because we've got
yeah.
my girl Ons Jabeur.
She is.
We're talking about Ons Jabeur. We were singing that yesterday as well. We was getting it going in the bar in London. We've got a few other people singing it as well, and I just love her. I love her. She's amazing. I think Pegula's really good as well. She's not quite hit the heights recently since the Australian Open when she was amazing at the start of the year. Yeah. On hard courts, these two can go toe-to-toe to each other, personally. I just hope Ons Jabeur has a little bit too much. Have you got the wins, or I can get them up?
Yeah, both had very tough draws as well.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Pegula, Kontaveit in the first round. That's a horrible draw. Pavlyuchenkova, Grand Slam finalist. And then Danielle Collins, who's just coming off the back of a storming week, winning another tournament. So
yep. I think Danielle Collins prior was on some crazy winning streak as well. Was it like 10 matches or something?
It was...
Or 14.
It was so many. Yeah. She won in Palermo, and then she won in San Jose.
I think I saw on Twitter it was 14. But I've not counted it personally.
I can't count it.
She's won a lot of matches, put it that way, and and it was ended. So credit to... I've lost the thing. Credit to... Pegula. Because that's a big win for her. It really is. But massive. On Ons Jabeur, I think looking at the bracket league for Game to Love, there was hardly anyone who had her in the final or winning. I think I was one of the only people. I think that was a lot due to the fact that her draw was extremely tough. She's had to beat Clara Burel, good young French player, Kasatkina, and it was difficult. It was 3 sets. And then obviously the former champion, Bibi Andreescu.
Yep. It gets tougher and tougher each round. Like Kasatkina, amazing player, and has been great form this year. Brushed her aside in 3, but then Andreescu, that was where you thought he's just going up another level. The reigning champ. And
this is her event, I feel. This really is her event. It's not going to be long until she's going to win this event for many years to come, I believe, Andreescu. Not just because she's Canadian. I just think the whole conditions suit her. She's already won it before. If she gets the injury sorted, she could be a real star at this event and win it for multiple years. She'll probably have a stand named after her in about 15 years. That's just my predictions of it all. Oh. But talking of predictions, let's give the predictions for these matches. And from the top, with the Belarusians, what are you going for?
I'm going Azarenka in 3.
Okay. I'm going exactly the same. Azarenka in 3 for that one.
Next one, Pliskova, Tormo. I'm going Pliskova in 3.
I'm going Tormo straight sets.
Oof, I knew you were. Next one's probably the toughest one to pick. Goff, Georgie. I'm going to be going Georgie.
No, not again.
In 3.
So Georgie in the semis, right?
Yeah, I've just been impressed.
I'm assuming Georgie's the lowest ranked player here by some way.
I think so. I think she's about 4. Is she like 50th, something like that?
Is she? I thought she was over 100.
Oh, Georgie?
Yeah, maybe I've
71.
Lost the
71.
Okay.
There you go.
Not that far off. I thought she was just over 100.
Give her some credit. Jeez.
She probably was not too long ago. For me, I'm going to go Coco Gauff. I think she's got her eyes set now on a Masters title. And obviously that top 10. Let's see if she can get there. She's going to need to get some points and she'll accumulate a lot if she's able to win this event. So I'm going to be going Coco Gauff in straight sets.
Maybe conspiracy. Georgie pulls out Coco Gauff into the semis. Last one, Pegula.
I feel like I feel like that happened last year in an event. Was it Ashley Barty got like to the semi-finals and she hardly played?
Something like that, yeah.
Or it might have been Coco Gauff. There was another. I remember there was a tournament, and let me know in the live chat if anyone knows. But there was definitely a tournament last year on the women's tour, and someone got to like the semi-finals of only playing like I think half of a match or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I forget who it was now.
Today's not the day, so
no.
I try and remember. Anyway, the last one, Pegula Jabeur.
Don't do it to me, Ben.
I forgot to go for Ons, and I can't.
Yeah, you got to.
I'll go Jabeur, and I'm going to have them all going to 3 sets. I'm going to have Jabeur in 3.
Yeah, so Ben's bet out of these is all of them over however many games. What's it? Basically 3 sets.
Yeah,
over 1.5 sets.
That's it. Yeah, all of
them. Or 2.5 sets.
Yeah, all of them 3 sets. If you can just do that, Might be an
Yep.
interesting one.
Good little acca.
Yeah.
I actually agree on this last one. I think Jabeur will win, but I think it's going to be 3 sets as well. Pegula's very good. I think she can take a set.
Yeah, definitely. She could even win if she really wanted to, but I know that
Yep.
we can't pick her because we love Ons Jabeur.
Yeah, and just going to the chat, we've got Edgar Guy and Pliskova will win 6-3, 6-2. Very specific.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of concludes our preview of the quarterfinals. There's our thoughts on all of the matches, on the men's and women's. Whether or not they happen or not is another matter. We'll try and watch as many of the matches today. We're quite privileged to be that they're later on in the day. So it's given us the morning to get ready and get set, recover from yesterday, and hopefully we can watch some good tennis later on.
Yeah, let's hope so, mate. Oh, I'll get that off the screen.
I think there was one last thing we did want to say before we left. And just while you're getting it up, I'll just talk about the patrons because I know we've got Almino who's just joined the Patreon. Shout out to you, Almino.
Cheers, Almino.
Great that you've joined us on there. And if anyone else wants to join, the link is pinned in the live chat. I think the lowest one's £3 a month, and it really helps the channel to grow and takes us to the next level. We will be doing more benefits, Q&As. We've got some stuff going with merch and other cool things as well. So we highly recommend the Patreon if you want to take your GTL love to the next level. And I think we've just passed 10 patrons now, which is great. Good achievement. That doesn't sound like much, but it really means everything to us. So if anyone wants to join that, the link is in the live chat or in the description.
Right, I'll ping up this thing. All right, this next window. There we go. This is the one that I think you would want to share with me and wanted to talk about quickly, was it?
Well, yeah, there's not really much to say about this. It's just the quarterfinal appearances in 2021. Obviously, Collins now, didn't make it. She went out, but she was close to sort of tie at the top. Sabalenka, she started the year so strong. I think she had a lot of them there. The thing is, for me, she's recently been getting far to tournaments, say quarterfinals, and then sort of faltering. What was it? Semi-final at Wimbledon and some other events as well. She just needs to get it over the line, just the final few steps. Barty's the one who seems to be getting there and winning them. Barty wasn't in this tournament, but I love how Coco Gauff's she's having a great year. She really is. She's sneaking on there, and it's another quarterfinal appearance for her.
Yeah, really good. Promising stuff coming in the future, I'm sure, and she's still so young, which is great. All right, next one up. We got Roger Federer releasing a statement as we move away from these tournaments. Just always good to hear from the big man, hear what's going on. He said, this week, I will meet my doctors and my team, and then we'll see what happens next. At the moment, everything seems still a little uncertain. Oof, I don't like the sound of that.
Well, it's the word uncertain what gets me, mate. And I think Rafa's said something along the same lines with his injury as well. They've both basically come out and said to me that they're not sure if they're going to be at the US Open, in other words. I think the Roger one is more certain. Like, I think it's very unlikely we see him at the US Open.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's 100% out because I've not seen any announcement if it's happened just now. I'm just making sure of it. But for me, it's a matter of time until he just doesn't play. He just comes out and says, I'm not going to be there. And I think with Rafa, it could be something similar. The only thing I could say is, do you think they're doing all of this to take the attention off them a little bit? And it's all a bit of a ploy. So they're sort of saying, oh, we're not going to be there. We're not going to be there. All of a sudden they turn up. People don't have much expectations from them. And then they just do what they do all the time. And in these big events, the one thing I would say is if Roger is to enter the event, you can't discount him. You never can, because if he feels confident enough to be playing in it, we've known what he's done all the years. You can never, ever discredit the fact that he could go very far in the tournament. I know we do it a lot. We say, oh, he's not going to win a slam. But if he enters it, he's got all the chance in the world because he's simply that good. And the same can be said about Rafa. Yeah. If they're there, they've got a shot of winning it.
Definitely. They always have a shot. It's just the more the years go by, the shot becomes less and less. That's the problem. And I don't think they're going to put these things out unless there is an actual problem. I'm just worried that it could be the end, that's all. And I don't want to see it, but it's inevitable at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly is. I think we're going to wrap it up there. Let's go watch some tennis in Canada. Thanks for joining us on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed our quarterfinal predictions. Let us know in the comments what your predictions are, or in the live chat if you want to now. We can maybe read them out. Also, if you're new to Game to Love, hit the subscribe button. We've passed 17,000. Next stop's 20. That's like the big landmark now. So we need you to all subscribe if you haven't already and like this video. We'll probably see you tomorrow to talk about the US Open qualifications because they're doing it a bit differently this year with no fans. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow.
Annoying. Yeah. All right. Well,
Love you and leave you guys. See you soon.